Hi, this is Matt from filmformat.com, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the Canon EF 50mm f1.4. Costing nearly $300 more than the Canon FD, many mirrorless filmmakers might be asking if this lens is worth the extra dough. Let's take a look. This thing is massive and looks pretty awkward when it's attached to my camera. The large size is necessitated by a built-in autofocus system, which you will not benefit from while shooting video. To set this lens to manual mode, you will have to flip this switch here. Despite its massive size, the lens is extremely light compared to other vintage 50mm lenses and does not feel as well built. Unfortunately, the cheap plasticky ring does not have a very smooth throw, and it's designed like other EF lenses with no hard stops. EF lenses are not built with a manual aperture ring, so you will need to buy an adapter with an electronic control for the aperture, which can be far more expensive than a simple lens adapter for manual lenses. This will also affect your ability to close down the aperture without using hard stops. In this review, we'll be using the superb Metabones Canon EF to Micro Four Thirds speed booster. This adapter widens the focal length 0.71 times, increases the maximum aperture by 1 stop, and increases the overall sharpness. Surely this additional feature will allow the lens to outperform other lenses that we've tested so far. It's apparent from the very beginning that this lens is not particularly sharp wide open. In fact, the depth of field is so shallow that focusing at this low of an aperture can be incredibly taxing and may not be worth it. Anywhere between f1.4 and f2.8 will produce the naturally characteristic dreamy look that we've seen in many other nifty 50 primes. A proper lens review would be remiss without an examination of the bokeh as well. This lens does an incredible job of blurring out even relatively close backgrounds at wider apertures, which gives it a huge advantage over other lenses. It would be easier to forgive the price if this lens performed much better at wider apertures, but its susceptibility to soft focus doesn't make this lens much better than its predecessor, which has far better character and costs only $35. Feel free to click on this button for a more in-depth written review on this particular lens. If you'd like to see how the Canon EF 50mm compares to its $35 predecessor, the Canon FD 50mm f1.4, then click on this button. And as always, feel free to subscribe and visit filmformat.com for more filmmaking reviews and tutorials from yours truly. Thanks for watching.